take some silver chloride in a china dish. Take some silver chloride in a china dish. Silver chloride. What is the chemical formula of silver chloride? AgCl. What is the chemical formula of silver chloride? AgCl. In this, the silver chloride is in white color. What is the color of silver chloride? Silver chloride is in white color. That silver chloride kept sometimes in the presence of sunlight. In the presence of sunlight, that silver chloride converts into silver chloride converts into silver and chloride. Silver chloride in the presence of sunlight converts into silver and chloride. What is the color of that silver chloride? Silver chloride is in white color. Then the product is in grey color. What is the color of the product? Product is in grey color. Then silver chloride is in white color, then converts into grey color. So this is also an example for decomposition reaction. Then another example, then silver bromide. Silver bromide kept sometimes in the presence of sunlight. Then silver bromide also converts into silver and bromide. So these reactions also the type of decomposition reaction. The examples for decomposition reaction. What are decomposition reaction? One element, a single reactant divide into small 2 or 3 products. That reaction is known as, what is the reaction? Decomposition reaction. The decomposition reaction is carried out in the presence of heat, that is known as thermal decomposition reaction. For example, then calcium carbonate on heating to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. 2-3 examples I already told now. Then electrolysis of water. What happens in the electrolysis of water? H2O converts into hydrogen and oxygen. On the electrolysis of water, water decomposes to form hydrogen and oxygen. Next one is displacement reaction. Then first one is combination, second one is decomposition, and third one is displacement reaction. Take some copper sulfate, CuSO4 means copper sulfate solution in a test tube. Then 2 iron nails dipped in that copper sulfate solution. Then after some times, the color of this iron nail is converted into which color? One brown color. Converted into brown color, and at the same time the color of the copper sulfate fades. The color of the copper sulfate also change. In this reaction, then iron react with copper sulfate to form iron sulfate and copper. Then iron reacts with copper sulfate to form iron sulfate and copper. Displacement reaction means, in this case, this iron remove this SO4 from this compound, from the copper sulfate. The iron remove or displace. Iron remove or displace the sulfate from copper sulfate solution and join to form FeSO4 and join to form FeSO4. This type of reactions are called displacement reaction. Once more, this iron displace or remove that sulfate ion from this copper sulfate and 4 iron sulfate plus copper here. Then ironate converts into brown color and the color of copper sulfate solution of light blue color. Copper sulfate solution is in light blue color. Then iron reacts with copper sulfate to form iron sulfate and copper. That iron displace or remove the sulfate ion from copper sulfate and to form FeSO4 plus Cu. This type of reactions are called displacement reactions. This type of reactions are called displacement reaction. Remove or displace one SO4 ion remove or displace SO4 ion from copper sulfate. This is known as displacement reaction. First reaction, iron plus CuSO4 gives, CuSO4 means copper sulfate. Then iron sulfate plus copper. In this first reaction, this iron displaces that copper and join to form FeSO4 iron sulfate plus copper. In second reaction, zinc plus copper sulfate gives zinc sulfate and copper. In this reaction also, zinc replaces this copper and zinc and SO4 combines to form zinc sulfate. In the case of Pb means lead and CuCl2 means copper chlorate. CuSO4 means copper sulfate and CuCl2 means copper chlorate. In these reactions also the lead remove that or displace that copper, then lead and chlorine combines to form lead chlorate plus Cu. In these three reactions also, that first one displacement, then second one zinc displaces, then third one lead displace. Then first one iron displaces copper, then second one zinc displaces copper, then third one lead displaces copper. These three are also examples for displacement reaction. And one more thing, the zinc and the lead are more reactive than copper. That's why zinc displaces this copper and lead displaces this copper. This type of reactions are known as displacement reactions. Next one is double displacement reaction. Next one is double displacement reaction. Take some barium chlorate in a test tube and add some sodium sulfate solution. Take barium chlorate in a test tube, then add sodium sulfate. Then sodium sulfate and barium chlorate reacts to form barium sulfate and sodium chlorate. Once more, that sodium sulfate reacts to barium chlorate to form barium sulfate and sodium chlorate. This white color precipitate is formed here. The insoluble white color, that is known as precipitate. White insoluble white color thing, that is known as precipitate. That white color, one product is formed here, that is barium sulfate, that is insoluble, not soluble, insoluble barium sulfate. Then that white color thing is known as precipitate. White color thing is known as precipitate. Then a reaction produces precipitate is known as precipitate reaction. The reaction produces precipitate is known as precipitate reaction. Once more, take some sodium sulfate, barium chloride, add some sodium sulfate, then sodium sulfate and barium chloride reacts to form one white color thing. that is insoluble in water. That white color thing is known as precipitate. Then any chemical reaction, white color thing is formed, that precipitate is formed, that is known as precipitate reaction. That is known as precipitate reaction. In this case, Na2SO4 plus BaCl2, BaSO4 plus 2NaCl. Here, in the case first, SO4 combines with barium. That is SO4 ions combine with the barium to form barium sulfate. The SO4 ions combines with barium to form barium sulfate, and sodium combines to form sodium chloride. These two products are formed here. First one is SO4 and barium. One ion from this compound and another ion from this compound. Then SO4 react to barium, barium sulfate, and sodium reacts to chlorine to form sodium chloride. This type of reactions are known as double displacement reactions. This type of reactions are known as double displacement reaction. Exchange of ions in the reactants. Here the exchange of ions in the reactants are happened. That type of reaction is known as double displacement reaction. Just you listen here also, then barium sulfate, then sodium chlorine. Here also the exchange of reaction is possible. So this type of reaction is known as double displacement reaction. Then first one is, what are the different types of chemical reaction? First one is combination reaction. In combination reaction means two reactants combines to form a single product. Okay, two reactants combines to form a single product is known as combination reaction. Second one is decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction means a product breaks down and converted into 2 or 3 products. That is known as decomposition reaction. The decomposition reaction is carried out in the presence of heat, that is known as thermal decomposition reaction. Then third one is displacement reaction. In the more reactive element displace another element from that reactant. That type of reactions are known as displacement reaction. Then double displacement reaction means exchange of ions from that reactants. For example, the sodium combines to form chlorine. Sodium is a one reactant and chlorine is a one reactant from another product. So the sodium and chlorine combines to form sodium chloride, and sulfate and barium combines to form barium sulfate. Here one byproduct is formed, that is known as precipitate. In any chemical reaction, precipitate is formed. What is precipitate? A white color thing. That precipitate is formed. That type of reactions are known as precipitate reaction. That type of reactions are known as precipitate reaction.